Yo, my brother Zone 6 had a two-part question. I'm gonna let you guys hear what he had to say, and then I'm gonna come back and give my response.
You guys I have a question. What what is the value of a fighter, and explain to me how you value a fighter on the resume of a guy. Like, how do you measure it? Do we measure this in all time? How do we conclude that it was an all-time great victory? Do we do that in the moment, at the time that the fighter was what he was? Is it a ever-growing situation that a boxer, as long as he's active, he continues to value or devalue depending on what happens to him after he fight a fighter? And you can only conclude the true value on a fighter after he retires and then sum him up? Or can he be summed up at the time? Do you sum the value of Robert Guerrero up at the time that he fought Floyd Mayweather? Or do you wait till he completely retires to sum up the value of Robert Guerrero for Floyd Mayweather's resume? And that applies to Danny Garcia, and it applies to Keith Thurman as well too. Okay, well, like with Shane Mosley, we know Shane Mosley is a perfect example of a guy who he's fought a lot of.
Yeah, that was my brother Zone 6. He had a two-part question, man. He wanted to know about all-time greats. How do you give credit for an all-time great win? Do you base it off performance, or do you base it off when the win actually occurred? His second part question was about all-time greats. Can an all-time great win be devalued? And could that win have value added to it? So let's jump into it, man. I actually kind of disagree with my brother Zone, man, and we don't disagree often, but I disagree with him on this, and I'm gonna give you guys a plethora of examples as to why I disagree with him. The first example I'm gonna give you guys is the Floyd Mayweather Manny Pacquiao fight, and I know what you guys thinking, not this shit again. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Mayweather and Pacquiao. Had Floyd Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao back in 2009, when Manny Pacquiao was the betting favorite. Manny Pacquiao was actually favored to beat Floyd Mayweather. So had Floyd Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao when he was #1 pound for pound, he would have got 1,000% credit for that win. But he beat Pacquiao coming off a knockout loss to Juan Manuel Marquez. And you also talked about Shane Mosley, so I want to get to him for a second. In my opinion, Shane Mosley kind of devalued when he lost to Vernon Forrest and Winky Wright twice. Once he had those 4 losses, he was kind of exposed, and to me, he no longer had any more value. It's sort of like milk. You only can keep that shit in your refrigerator for like a week before it starts to spoil, so it has an expiration date on it. The same as boxers, man. Once Shane Mosley started getting old, he lost all his value. Yeah, he still had his name, but motherfuckers already had whooped his ass 4 times, so there was already a blueprint out on how to beat Shane Mosley. So once Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and all the motherfuckers start teeing off on him, I really couldn't really give them guys credit for beating Shane Mosley. Like I said, the motherfucker had already lost his value once he lost to Winky Wright twice. Just my opinion. And another example I'm going to give you guys is Floyd Mayweather and, not Floyd Mayweather, my bad, Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes. Well, I really can't give Larry Holmes any credit for beating Muhammad Ali because Muhammad Ali had Parkinson's disease, he was ill, sick, and he wasn't in his prime. Had he beat Cassius Clay, I would have gave Larry Holmes a lot of credit for that win, but you whooped on an old ass motherfucking man. Yeah, you beat a big name. You beat Muhammad Ali. He's an icon in the sport, a huge name, massive name. But you beat a motherfucker that was sick, motherfucker that really shouldn't have been fighting at that point. He was trying to pay off taxes and shit. He was in debt, fighting to try to pay his bills and shit. So I don't give Larry Holmes no motherfucking credit for that win. And let's talk about Roy Jones Jr. I give Antonio Tarver credit for beating the prime Roy Jones Jr. But the motherfuckers that's teeing off on Roy Jones right now, knocking his ass out left and right, they don't get no credit from me for that shit, man. They whooping on an old ass, helpless motherfucking man. Yeah, he's a big name. You beating Roy Jones Jr. at the end of the day, but look at the Roy Jones Jr. they whooping on. They're not beating the same Roy Jones who Antonio Tarver beat. They beating the washed up motherfucking has-been. So that's my take on it, bruh. And you can really bring women into the equation. Say, for example, I smashed Holly Berry. Would I get more credit for smashing her back in 1992 when she was on Baywatch at the height of her career, or smashing her now in 2016 when she's old, doesn't look the same, she's not as fine as she was? And you could talk about Nicki Minaj, man. Before, when she was young, she didn't really have that much value. Now she done added the breast implant, she got the butt injection. She looks more finer now than she was when she was younger. So she has more value to her now than she was when she was young. So that's kind of how I view it, bruh. You brought up a good topic though, a really good topic. I think it's a good boxing discussion.